Hi, everyone. Today I have Thomas Karcher from Washington and Jefferson College with us, and he's going to share lots of really good information with us about W&J. So I'll let you take it from here, Thomas.
Awesome, thank you. Like I said, my name's Thomas. I'm one of the senior assistant directors here. So I actually work with all of our students in Ohio. So if any of you have any questions at any point, y'all are more than welcome to reach out to me at any point. So I'll kind of just give a general overview about W&J. So where we're located, we're in Washington, PA, which is roughly give or take about 35, I'd say about 35 miles south of PA. So roughly it's about a 35 minute drive. We're located in Washington, PA, which is just south of Pittsburgh. So it's a really great opportunity, not only to have fun in both of those areas, but also being able to grow and develop professionally as well. We have a number of students that are involved in internships and research opportunities, both in Washington and in Pittsburgh. Roughly 88% of our students that go to Pittsburgh are also complete at least one internship or research opportunity while they're here at W&J. And some of our students do multiple as well. So there's a lot that our students can get involved in. I put this map out here just so you can see how close we are to other nearby cities as well. Of course, we're probably just less than 2.5 hours from Cleveland, about 2.5 hours from Columbus, Ohio. And in North Carolina, we're probably about 6.5 hours from Charlotte and Raleigh. So some of our students do like to do some day trips sometimes or over the weekend. So you're close to a lot of other cities that may take a day to drive to. And then this is just a photo of Pittsburgh. And this next page here just shows you a little bit about what Pittsburgh has to offer. You can see all the companies on the right-hand side of the screen is where our students have actually interned. So we have students that not only intern in Pittsburgh, but some of our students have traveled for them as well. We have a number of our Gen Z students that actually live in Pittsburgh. It's the #1 travel destination. I didn't know it was a top food city until last year, so that was something that really interests me, but there's a number of opportunities that you could take advantage of. We've even had students that have interned with some other examples that are on here, the Pittsburgh Penguins. We've had students that have interned with the Steelers and other accounting firms and local businesses in the area of Pittsburgh as well. So this is just a brief history of Washington and Jefferson College. So Washington and Jefferson College were actually separate colleges in 1781. In 1865 was when Washington College became Washington and Jefferson College. Jefferson College is located was located in Canonsburg, PA, which is probably about 15 or 20 minutes at the time from Washington College. Enrollment was declining at both schools due to the Civil War. And so each school decided to do a fundraiser, and whoever would raise the most money would have that other college join with that other college. So Washington College won that fundraiser. So Jefferson College joined with Washington College to become Washington and Jefferson College. Since then, we roughly have about 1,200 students now at W&J. So we're excited about the growth of the school, and Juncta Juvant is just in Latin for thriving together. That's kind of our motto that we have for our students here at W&J that want to continue to excel and continue to grow in their academics and professionally too. So this is just a little bit about our academics. Roughly our average classroom sizes, give or take 13 to 14 students. You can see that just about 3/4 of our classes have less than 20 students. Your large classes, I put them in air quotes. I've only ever seen a class that's gone to 26, 27 students. So they're relatively high school classroom sizes. I know there was a student ambassador last year that I was speaking with that was taking a literature class that had 8 students. So they can get a lot smaller, but you really get to have those personal connections with the faculty. And I think every small school could say, oh yeah, we're a small tight-knit community. We're really, you can connect with your faculty. But I think what our faculty do a really good job with is focusing on individualization, really connecting with them one-on-one. That's so important. And that's really allowed for our students to get those research opportunities or have those internships that they've always wanted to pursue. And that includes our travel as well. Very close to half of our students do travel. It's just a bit over 40%. So there's a number of opportunities that students can take advantage of just to be able to really excel in whatever degree or major that they want to pursue. And then this is our list of majors and minors. So we have 32 majors and 34 minors here. W&J is mostly recognized for its health and law programs. So a lot of our students do graduate to become doctors or lawyers, and we have over a 90% acceptance rate into our health and law programs. So it's a very impressive. We do have a number of science degrees that students can pursue with the health track. And we also have a number of partnership schools with the health programs as well as the law programs that we offer here. So major-wise, a lot of our students will go into the sciences, psychology in particular. We have a lot of students that go to graduate school when they go through psychology. Our business programs are also very popular as well. So a number of our students go into accounting, business, international business, and finance, and all those other programs that we have available. And then I know I talked a little bit about some of the pre-professional programs. We do have a 3-2 engineering program, which allows students to take a math or science degree of their choice at W&J for 3 years. After they pursue 3 years at W&J and get their degree, they'll go to any of our partner schools. One example is Washington University in St. Louis. We actually had a student, Ty Badalian, who graduated in the spring. He's actually getting his degree there currently. So you'll be able to pursue any engineering degree of your choice for the 2 years. So you're getting 2 degrees in 5 years, which helps saves a lot of affordability and time in the long run. We do have education teacher certification. We have a number of certifications based off of what students will like to teach, really anywhere between the pre-K through 12th levels. And we do have ROTC programs here as well. We have Army, National Guard, and Air Force. Those are the ROTC programs that we offer. And I always love talking about Magellan Project. This is one of our travel opportunities that students can take advantage of. Students, based off of their major or minor or whatever they may be interested in, they'll have to come up with a plan as far as what research they would like to conduct and where they would like to travel to. And as long as they come up with a concrete plan, the W&J Academics Office will approve that trip. Not only that, they will cover most of your cost, including your travel. So that's very important. A lot of our students, they travel outside the country, but you don't have to do that as well. So you can see our students have worked in Kentucky. I know, and I think last year we were going to have a student that was going to travel to Salem to study the Salem witch trials. But our students have traveled all across the globe. We had 2 students last year. One traveled to Tanzania, Africa to study weather patterns for his environmental science degree. And then we had another student who studied history that traveled to the southern border of Spain to study immigration patterns. So there's a lot of opportunities that students can take advantage of. And I know some of our students really enjoy doing the Magellan. And then this is just a little bit about our study abroad. So you can see all of our where all of our students have traveled to. We do have nearly 39 study abroad opportunities that students can choose from. Now, for students that maybe don't want to travel for a full semester, that's completely okay. We do have our J term, which is more abbreviated travel, usually before spring classes start. They'll take a class that's usually 10 to 14 days normally. And a majority of those students do travel during J term. Some of them will like to take a class on campus, but ultimately, there's a lot that, students, if they don't want to travel for the full semester, J term is really the way to go. But we do have a number of opportunities for our students that may want to travel for a full semester. This is just a little bit about our student life and what our students can get involved in. So we do have over 70 active clubs and organizations here on campus. We do have the performing arts and theater and, intramural sports that we do have available as well. So a student will never be bored while they're here at W&J. We do, of course, have Greek life here. And I think what's really good about it is that's really focused on, volunteer and just being involved and engaged with the community. So they do a lot of fundraisers and things like that. And they're really more focused on growing in brotherhood and sisterhood. I know Greek life can sometimes get a bad rep, but it makes up almost a third of our student population before COVID. So I think that's a really positive, and the students respond really well to Greek life here on campus as well. So I think that was important to mention. We are a Division III school, so we do have 26 varsity teams that students could choose from. Unfortunately, this year, just with everything going on with COVID, we did not have fall sports that were going on, but other than with the exception, I think, of golf and tennis. But we're hopeful. Nothing set in stone yet for our spring and winter and spring sports, so we'll see what happens with that. But for any of our students that are interested, I always encourage them to fill out the recruiting questionnaire. Their information gets sent directly to the coach. All of the coach's contact information can be found on our athletics page, but I always recommend students filling out the recruiting questionnaire. And then these are just some of, I did not mean to do that. These are some of the programs that we offer for our students. Of course, we do have support and career and internships office to help students really navigate their 4 years while they're here at W&J. But we do have a program called Navigate, which really helps students get involved their first year and really help develop their resume their first year. And then they'll have the opportunity to really work on it and learn their sophomore and junior year. And BARC is a really great program for our seniors to kind of just being able to be together a couple of times before they move on to the next phase of their life. And they'll be able to go to like business and career fairs that we have on campus. I know we were supposed to have one in March. That was around the time COVID happened, so unfortunately we're not able to have it. But we did have a number of students that reached out to those offices for support, and they were happy to help. And this is just a little bit about our students that have graduated. So I know originally 94% of our students that graduate were full-time employed, go to graduate school or medical or law school. This year was 97% from our past year's freshman class within 6 months. So we were really excited that it continues to go up and hopefully go up a little bit higher next year as well. I know I already mentioned the 90% acceptance rates just with our health and law programs, but we continue to have students that partner with Duquesne or the University of Pittsburgh. And for our health programs, Lake Erie College of Medicine, Temple, and other universities as well. And then this is just information about our application process. Of course, we've been test optional now for a couple of years. So that is still the same case, especially with everything going on. I know I've talked with a number of students that have tried to take the SAT about 4 or 5 times and have not had any success in being able to get that done. So for students, if they're not able to get them in, that is completely fine. We are test optional when we're considering students for merit scholarships as well. I think that's very important that they will not need them regardless. We only require the application, which is free, and we have the Common App or our W&J Leadership app. So if students, it's a little bit of a shorter app as well. So if students just want to get that in and then send their transcripts, that's all we'll need to complete their application. I've been asked a couple of times what they would prefer if they wanted to send one over the other as far as the letters of recommendation or the essay. Usually I encourage the essay because it really allows the students to really tell their own story. There's not really a prompt for this year for an essay. So if students want to, tell a story about themselves that gives us a better idea of what they're like as a student, I would recommend that. But again, it is optional. They do ask for extracurricular activities on the application. That is very important that they, list anything that they've ever done. And I'll explain that a little bit when we get to scholarships. These are just our deadlines. Our early decision, of course, which is binding, is December 15th. I know if W&J is the absolute #1 choice for that student, then of course they can apply through early decision and reserve their spot at W&J. Early action just means we'll get a decision out to them as quickly as possible. And our regular decision is March 1st. We do have rolling admission for some of our students up until August 1st. I would not wait until the summer, of course, for students to submit their application, but I know sometimes things do fall through the cracks and they do have to look elsewhere. So this is our tier scholarship list, just with our as far as what we offer for merit scholarships. They do range between $23,000 and $34,000 per year. So I always encourage students to list all of their extracurricular activities because our highest scholarship is the W&J Thrive Scholarship. W&J Thrive is for students that have a 3.6 unweighted GPA or higher and have leadership demonstrated. So what we look for is we traditionally, when we look at their application and high school transcripts, we look at what they're involved in. And if they're involved in student government, whether it's a treasurer, secretary, vice president, or president, if they're a founder or co-leader of a club or organization, if they're a sports captain, work related, if they're in a managerial position or are working as a lifeguard. Those are just a couple of examples of what we look for the leadership demonstrated portion. Keep in mind on the application as well that there is a question that gets asked, will you apply test optional? It's very important that if students do not, if they don't do well in their test scores, that they submit, yes, I'm applying test optional, because what happens is for those students that do not, they submit their test scores and they find out that they're getting a lower merit scholarship because their test scores are lower. So I always strongly encourage students to apply test optional, because if they do really well in their test scores and they apply test optional, that's only going to help them. So I think that's really important that students should apply test optional regardless, because if they do well academically, maybe not do so well on the test scores, but still apply test optional, they're going to get that presidential scholarship, unless of course they're eligible for the Thrive. And these are just some little bit of information about financial aid. Roughly our average institutional aid package is around $30,000 per year, and 99% of our students that do apply for financial aid do receive some type of financial help. And I did list some deadlines on here as well. Of course, the application has already opened up. October 1st is when the FAFSA opened. I'm sure you all